WNBA elevates. Remember, it could have been even better. You messed it up.
This is unreal, because it feels like I'll never see my money again after this. Caitlin Clark's European deal isn't just talk. It's the kind of move that could shake the WNBA to its core. With her departure to Europe looking closer and closer, the league is spiraling in fear. Picture it, Caitlin was supposed to be their game changer. Maybe, just maybe, they should have treated their brightest star with real respect, because without Cece, who's left to care? I mean, I'm never going to financially recover from this. These are the same people Caitlin faced all year, and truthfully, they are unprepared and unfit to guide the WNBA. And what went down? The league was left in shambles as she shattered records with unstoppable force, like tomorrow didn't exist.
Will do her best. I know she's talented, but she's not strong enough, and she doesn't have enough experience right now to compete at this.
Honestly, Caitlin had no real choice but to hear these analysts out. She desperately needs a clean slate. A league that actually values its brightest stars and doesn't put them under a spotlight for the wrong reasons. Because here's the truth. The non-stop hostility aimed her way, that's more than enough for anyone to carry.
Nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from...
So here's the deal. Caitlin Clark has reportedly been handed a jaw-dropping contract to take her talents to Europe. And while it looks like she's ready to sign, trust me, this story runs even deeper. You see, Caitlin Clark has battled challenge after challenge in the WNBA. From the league's failure to protect its stars to the glaring absence of real support on the floor. And this is despite all the spotlight, all the praise, and her undeniable impact on the game. These relentless struggles have pushed her toward what could be one of the most stunning career moves in sports history. After setback, Caitlin has finally had enough of the WNBA's neglect. And now she's making the groundbreaking choice to walk away. Honestly, the league could be shaken to its very core by the shockwaves of her exit. Caitlin Clark's decision to leave and head overseas sends a crystal clear message. She's done. The WNBA hasn't always given Clark the care and respect her greatness demands. Time and again, we've seen rivals unleash excessive force when guarding her, crossing the line into reckless, even dangerous play. And somehow, the league has looked the other way. Whether it's the glaring lack of protection on the court, the constant targeting from opponents, or the league's outright indifference.
What the NBA became. Even when Jordan was ascending and the league clearly saw that that was the dude, and Nike was marketing the living hell out of Michael Jordan. I want to be like Mike. It was still burning.
And here's where the story takes an even wilder turn. Because Clark's very presence on the court instantly commands attention and spikes viewership, you could almost argue the WNBA has allowed this to drag on. After all, a little controversy does keep the conversation alive, right? But for Caitlin, this absence of protection has gone far, far beyond the limit. And even with the storm of outrage on social media, fans pleading for safety, fairness, and respect for their hero, almost nothing has truly shifted. It feels as though the league just never cared enough to step in and fix what was broken. And in the end, Clark is left feeling utterly forsaken.
We're making a basketball argument.
We're not saying we were making a basketball
No, Andrea, I'm not going to let you do that.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to let you make it seem like Caitlin Clark was averaging 5 points a game. At the time, she was still averaging 16 points a game, which was more than a lot of other guards that made the team. So don't do that. Don't make it seem like she was averaging 5 points and this was like a handout.
Man, this is such a disaster.
Her numbers, look at her numbers, comparable to the other guards that were on the team. That's all.
At last, Caitlin Clark is finally listening to her fans. After season upon season of being singled out and mistreated, she's made the bold choice to seize control of her career by walking away from the WNBA. She's simply had enough of the league's neglect. Her unmatched skill, relentless dedication, and game-changing influence have always been undeniable. So now, Clark is actively searching for a whole new chapter in her journey. And let's not sugarcoat it. The WNBA is teetering on the edge of a major collapse. The reason? It couldn't be more obvious. They failed to value Caitlin Clark's irreplaceable role in their success. Without her, the league would take an immediate hit, both in money and in viewers. Whenever Caitlin Clark stepped onto the hardwood, the world tuned in. She was the heartbeat of the league, plain and simple. Whether you were a casual fan or a diehard supporter.
Watching women's basketball right now, it all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me.
Her exit leaves the WNBA staring at an enormous, nearly impossible task, trying to fill that void. Of course, the league still has other insanely talented stars like DJ Carrington and Angel Reese. But let's be brutally honest, they just don't have Clark's rare power and magnetic personality. Now, this isn't about downplaying their greatness. Both are phenomenal athletes, yet Caitlin Clark was playing at an entirely different, transcendent level. Fans were drawn in by her fearless range, her ability to completely take over games, and her relentless competitive fire. She was the athlete everyone had to watch. She wasn't just another player, she was a movement. And only now is the WNBA waking up to the scale of her influence. If she walks away, the league risks losing millions upon millions in sponsorships, television rights, ticket revenue, and merchandise. The financial blow would be staggering. And here's the cruel twist. It didn't have to be this way. The league had countless chances to shield Caitlin on the floor, to treat her with the respect she deserved as their face, and to give her the real support she desperately needed. But the
fact that she was getting all of that, yet all of these eyeballs were coming to the league because of her. They were turning, the Indiana Fever was turning away game.
They will now be forced to answer for letting these problems grow and spiral out of control. The WNBA is about to discover the true cost of losing Caitlin, because her exit isn't just a goodbye. It's a seismic shift that could unleash catastrophic, league-altering consequences for the future. So what exactly has Europe put on the table for Caitlin Clark? Here's the shocker. The numbers being tossed around would freeze anyone in their tracks. Multiple insiders claim the deal she's been offered far surpasses anything the WNBA has ever given. And in the EuroLeague, where athletes are treated like royalty, this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime chance for Caitlin. Her choice to head overseas wasn't only about the massive paycheck. It also meant fewer games, more rest, more recovery, and the chance to consistently perform at her very peak.
Viewership, which is up 400% to 40%. Between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%. Between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%. What Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did.
But here's the true game changer. Europe is offering Caitlin the chance to become the face of their entire league. Alongside that massive contract, just picture her stepping onto the floor as the lights fade and thousands erupt, chanting her name in unison. The electricity inside those arenas, absolutely undeniable. The EuroLeague is ready to crown her as their centerpiece, treating her like the global icon she is, because they know fans live for every moment she sinks a deep three, the stadium shaking with each roar. But this time, it feels different. Europe isn't just giving Caitlin another stage to conquer. They are shaping her into the biggest basketball star on the planet. Packed arenas filled with loyal supporters hanging on her every move. This is the new reality. As Caitlin Clark prepares for this next chapter of greatness, Europe is making sure she shines brighter than ever. But here's the twist, she isn't alone. Other WNBA stars are chasing opportunity too, following the same overseas path. For instance, while Caitlin is rumored to head to Europe, Annalisa Smith and Kelsey Mitchell have chosen to spend their offseason competing in China. The truth is, when it comes to pay and overall experience, the WNBA's structure just can't match what players are getting overseas. And this shift is only accelerating, as more stars realize that international play not only brings bigger checks, but also far better treatment across the board. Athletes like Caitlin, Kelsey, and Annalisa are recognizing the clear benefits: fewer games, more recovery, and higher earnings, making the overseas option feel like a no-brainer. When you stack up the schedules, salaries, and player care abroad, it's no mystery why so many are making the move. Meanwhile, Jason Whitlock has a bold vision. He says Caitlin should launch an unrivaled in-season league, where the top talent battles it out during the WNBA's downtime. That way, Players like Kelsey Mitchell and Annalisa Smith wouldn't be forced to leave the country just to secure the paycheck they deserve. Instead, they could be earning that money right here at home. With an unrivaled league stacked with talent, players would finally get real opportunities, and they'd be able to build something extraordinary out of this wave of women's basketball brilliance. We've got incredible prospects on the rise, but they are still not being paid what they are worth. Right now, most are forced to rely on sponsorships just to make ends meet. But this unrivaled league idea, it throws an entirely new possibility into the mix. Now, back to Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. This massive shift should be the ultimate wake-up call for women's basketball. The league is on the verge of losing not just Caitlin, but other top stars as well. If the WNBA doesn't step up and completely rethink how it pays and supports its athletes, it risks a mass exodus. Players no longer have to settle when international leagues are handing out so much more. The WNBA must act fast and redefine its priorities before the talent drain gets even worse. Molly, seriously, Molly, the league barely even tried to keep Caitlin Clark. There was no grand offer, no sweeping gesture, nothing that truly captured just how vital she was to the league. Instead, they let her slip away without resistance, a puzzling move, to say the least. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most staggering twist in all of this. Because Clark wasn't just another star. She was a once-in-a-generation talent, a player with the potential to become the biggest name in American sports. Yet somehow, the WNBA allowed her to fall right through their grasp. For a league working tirelessly to grow its reach and prove itself on a global scale, this stands as a colossal misstep. One they'll almost certainly come to regret, and one that will ripple through their bottom line. Because the Caitlin Clark effect was very real. She single-handedly raised the league's profile, pulling in fans and sparking excitement unmatched by anyone in recent memory. Now, with her departure, the WNBA is staring at an uncomfortable truth. They are no longer the pinnacle for the world's greatest talent. The league hadn't felt this surge of energy in years, and Clark was only beginning to claim her spotlight. Other leagues are putting richer contracts on the table because players there receive better treatment and face lighter schedules. The WNBA, once seen as the crown jewel of women's basketball, now finds itself in real danger. Caitlin Clark's exit has made overseas opportunities look far more appealing. To bounce back from such a crushing loss, the league will have to fight harder than ever. With Caitlin Clark heading to Europe, the entire basketball world is about to feel the shift. She now has a golden chance to elevate her career in a setting where her extraordinary talent will finally be fully recognized and genuinely valued.